I'm here with Mary. We are on the Esmeralda Basin trail and we are heading out on this very cold October morning into Esmeralda Basin and Lake Anne, which is a less popular hike than Lake Ingalls, which also shares this trailhead. It is below 30 and the trailhead is already full because this is like the last week to see the larch trees, and that's why we're here as well. Should be a beautiful day. So we've reached the turnoff like a quarter mile in for where it forks, and you go right if you want to go to Lake Ingalls, but we are going to be going left for Esmeralda Basin and Lake Anne, which follows a much gentler climb up the valley as opposed to the scrambling for Lake Ingalls. Check out this gigantic old pine tree. We got like this neon green moss everywhere too. Look at that. Look at all the baby trees. Yeah, this forest has seen a forest fire in recent years, so there's a lot of burned out old trees and then a lot of new growth like this. The forest rebuilding itself. Really cool trail. And I'm glad we took it because it seems like not many other people have taken this route. They're all going up to Lake Ingalls, so we got the trail to ourselves. Okay, so we just broke the tree line and the views are beautiful. We're actually in kind of an avalanche chute. You can see all the tops of these trees have been whacked off and they get bent all the way down to the bottom of the valley there. But this is so cool. The view of this peak is just rock, which is fascinating. This area actually has some really interesting geology to go along with it, but oh, we're in the sun now, so it's warm, and this trail is just so cool. It's so different from so many of the trails we do over on the west side of the mountains. Not the yellow we came for, but these ferns and meadows are beautiful and definitely worth seeing all on their own. We're just patching like little patch of meadow after little patch of meadow. This is such a pretty trail, and also a really, really gentle climb. I didn't know that this was actually graded for livestock for Esmeralda Basin, so we've seen evidence that people have been taking their horses here. And the other thing I forgot to mention is that this trail is dog friendly. So we passed one person with their dog, so if you can't do Lake Ingalls because dogs aren't allowed there, you can bring your dog on this trail. And I think I also forgot to mention the stats. So this is 8 miles round trip, just over that, and about 2,000 feet of elevation gain. But it has been a super gentle climb so far, so nothing too tricky, and the trail is in like fantastic shape. Check out this crazy slope. So yeah, we're winding our way up, and then eventually we'll get on the other side of this ridge around this peak, and Lake Ann is over there. But wow, this scree slope is so cool. We are getting really close, and there's this really cool old pine tree. And we just need to get around this peak. We're following the trail up around here, and that should be the ridge that we cross over to get to the lake. But this scree slope is so cool. There's a lot of serpentine in these rocks here, and so there's a lot of really cool blacks and greens in the rocks. Makes it really interesting. So if you're a rock hound, this is a really cool trail to come look at. And these mountain views are insane for the amount of effort. Look behind me, look at that. Oh my gosh. And look at those just craggy exposed portions there. Nutty. I have no idea if this is going to come out on camera, but there's a pika like right there. He's gathering up. There he goes. He's gathering up some greens for his little stash for winter. Oh, pikas are so cute. I love them. Behind me is the trail junction for Lake Ann. It is marked, as you can see, and it goes up this little trail here. Esmeralda Basin Trail continues this way, so you want to make sure that you do look for this. And that means that we are almost to the lake. We've gone roughly almost 4 miles, and we should be getting our view of the lake and those golden larches coming up. So on this rock here, we have the fattest chipmunk we've seen so far. Getting ready for winter. Let's see if he wants to say hi. Oh, there he goes. Yep. He's got another little friend nearby too. Oh, there's his friend. Little baby one. Ah! Chipmunks are so cute. I am almost to the top of the ridge. Mary's still climbing this actually. This section, the final scramble to the lake, does get pretty steep. A little bit steeper than I was anticipating, but check out this view. You can even see Mount Rainier in the distance there. And we also spotted our first few larches right there. My God. Oh my God, this view. Oh my gosh. You just keep rounding corners and the view just gets even more amazing. This basin is just crazy. I do not think the camera is going to capture how just jaw-dropping this is. And the larch trees are still beautiful golden. Some of them are starting to turn. They definitely don't have much longer. This little guy here is so cute. But oh my gosh, talk about an underrated trail. This just has crazy views, and I think it's just because this poor lake is next to Lake Ingalls, and so it gets outshined. But I have no idea why. And this has been so peaceful. We've seen probably less than a dozen people this entire trail, and we've had this top all to ourselves. Only a few people have passed us. Most of the people who've passed us have had dogs, so it seems that people who can't do Lake Ingalls, who want to bring their furry friend, come to Lake Anne. This is just such a cool lake. And the people who called it a glorified puddle in trip reports are wrong. This is just slandering this poor lake. So here we have a nice little pine tree, and they've got kind of prickly needles. And then we come over here to this little larch. Very cute little larch tree. I mean, pet these. Larch trees have very soft needles compared to most other conifers. So this little viewpoint here, if you come here, this is the ridge for the lake, but there's this other little viewpoint. And it even kind of has a little railing of trees for safety. And look at that. These are insane 360 views. Oh my gosh. Absolutely insane. And you get like none of these until you get on the ridge. You don't even know what you're in for. You don't see a larch, you don't see any of this. And you just kind of see the not as cool side of Fortune Peak and Esmeralda Peak. And then you get here and you just see like the crazy erosion and stuff that's forming this basin. Okay, so we hit our turnaround time at the top. So we decided not to descend to the lake because that probably would have added 30 minutes to an hour because it was a pretty steep descent, and obviously we would have wanted to spend time down there. So we got some really great footage at the top. That valley is amazing. It took us 3 hours to get up there, and we're hoping for around 2 hours down. And it has been great so far. This was the most Mary has climbed. What did you think of that, Mary? Was it okay?
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought because it was pretty gradual.
Yeah, I think did really good. And this trail is so cool. I really don't know why more people don't come here. I guess it's because it's right next to Lake Ingalls, but it's a really cool lake. And the weather is perfect, and this is probably the last like few days for larches before the snow comes. So just heading down and enjoying these views. The views all along the valley are just beautiful. We have made most of our descent, and we're coming up on the finish line here, and we're just gonna film the wrap up here before we get to the parking lot. But this is a fantastic larch hike, or just general alpine lake hike. It was a lot more beautiful than I was expecting it to be, and I'd seen pictures before. The lake is a lot bigger than I thought, and I just can't get over how crazy that basin is. Those are some really, really cool views. We saw Mount Rainier, and we think we might have been able to see also Glacier Peak. I'm gonna have to check the maps on that, but I'm pretty sure we saw Glacier Peak as well, and just absolutely gorgeous. I think that as far as like difficulty versus reward, this hike falls on like, it's pretty easy for a very high reward. What would you say, Mary?
I really liked this one.
How would you rate the difficulty?
It's not the most difficult one I've done, but I don't know if I would say it was easy.
You say like moderate then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely climbing involved, and the top part does get a little steep, so, but I think that if we're talking larch hikes, it's probably one of the less steep ones. So, yeah, I'm very glad that we got to fit this one in before larch season ends and like late fall begins in the mountains. But overall, a really, really pretty hike and puppy friendly. So yeah, if you want to do the larch march and do it with your dog, this is the place to come. And also, we have been on this trail for 5 hours now and only passed a handful of people, and we've been by ourselves most of the time, which has just been lovely. It is so quiet and peaceful out here because larch hikes can get crowded, so this is another good one if you're wanting to get away from the crowds looking for all the golden larches as well. This is a really good one. I think it would be completely different seeing it in the spring because we saw evidence of a lot of really pretty wildflowers that have faded by now, but yeah, Lake Anne. Now we just have to get back to the car and then drive 2.5 hours home.